Hey, we're Mason and Sarah, and we've been turning this four-wheel drive Toyota HIACE commuter into a camper van.
After a few weeks filled with lots of hours on the tools, we're finally finished and ready to show you inside our newest home on wheels.
So this is it. We're finally sitting in our finished van build after a few weeks of pretty solid work. We're done and we are ready to show you. But before we do, we thought we would just sit in here and have a little bit of a chat about some of the specs of the van and some of the details of the layout and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so a bit about the van itself. It is a 2011 Toyota HIACE, super long wheelbase commuter, imported from Japan, and the main reason we bought it, it is a full-time four-wheel drive. So you can take this van absolutely everywhere. So it's perfect for a camper van layout, and that's why we bought it, really. Automatic, 3-seater, 177,000 kilometers, and yeah, that's pretty much covers all those specs.
Yeah, it was a minibus with like 8 seats and a wheelchair lift in it when we bought it, and it took us probably about 14 days, so 2 weeks of solid work
to get it to this point.
Yeah, to get it from that minibus with all the stuff inside it to where it is now.
So everything in here was done by us. So cabinetry, plumbing, electrical, upholstery, everything just done by us. So 2 weeks to get it to this point, and it looks so nice now. So
yeah, so we're so happy with this layout as well. We haven't really done a pack-up setup bed like this in a build before, but it just gives so much space, like so much functional space. You could easily fit like 6 adults sitting around here.
You could entertain in this van, so
let's have a party.
You have a party. It is a house on wheels, this one. Perfect for working as well. So if you do work in this van, it's comfortable, and if the weather's shitty, you know you're going to be in here and you've got a lot of space, so you don't feel like you're cramped in and kind of just stuck in bed and feel a bit gross.
Yeah, there's a lot of floor space as well, and even like overhead space, like you're not hitting your head sitting on the seats and that sort of thing.
Big comfy bed as well, and that's a big tick. So comfortable during the day, good sleeps at night. So yeah, absolutely nailed this build. So I think we should probably show you the layout now.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's suck into it.
So the first area of the van that you see when you open up the doors is our kitchen area. So it is a box built like this. We built it to this height to allow a good seat here if you want it, and also for safety reasons if you want to jump over and access the front driving area. Did you see the there's a monster. Anyway, this is a lift-up storage bit we've built on top of the kitchen, just for your pots and pans or other pantry items you can fit in there. And then for the actual pull-out kitchen cooking area, just got a pull-out kitchen that comes off the side of the van. The reason we do it off the side as well, just so you're not cooking inside and you get like the smells of cooking and whatnot, and with the awning and everything like that, you are protected from the weather if you still want to cook outside. But it is a portable stove. If you do want to cook inside, you can just put it in there and just open up one of the windows for extra ventilation. So we've got a double burner butane stove, got some storage under here for other pantry items, and then we have another taller section there just for other pantry items as well. These are on the heavy duty locking tabs as well. They just slide in like that, have it shut.
So I'm just sitting up inside the van, and our kitchen is like an L shape. So I'm sitting on that part that Mason just showed you, and it doubles as a seat as well, which is handy. But it sort of goes that section and then it continues on over here inside the van. So we've got a big bench space here. We've just used a piece of white ply for the bench top. And then over on this side here, we've got our sink and tap. So we've got our white acrylic sink, which is much lighter than ceramic sinks, which is good for a van build. And then we've got our gold tap, and just down on this side here, we've got our water pump. So I'll just flick that on and then turn on the tap, and we've got running water. Behind this kitchen bit here, we've got our tiled splashback, a little window, and that's pretty much it for this side. So on this side of the kitchen here, up the top, we have got 2 storage drawers, and they've just got the RV Labs latches on them so they don't fly open while driving. Then over here, we've got our 65-litre upright fridge, and then it's got a little freezer section here. We always go for upright fridges in van builds because they're so much better than the Esky style fridges, because things get squashed at the bottom. It's such like a non-negotiable having an upright fridge for us. Then in this cupboard here, it's not really like a kitchen item, but we've got storage for a camping toilet. So sort of just for emergencies, I suppose, stealth camping nights, that sort of thing. When you need a toilet, this is like the perfect storage spot for it. So it just sort of pulls out like this. It's a brand new toilet, never used. We probably wouldn't be showing a used toilet in our tour. But yeah, it just pulls out like this, sit it there, use it for an emergency, and then pop it away. It's super lightweight, so it's really easy to get in and out of the cupboard. Close the door and you wouldn't even know it's there.
So maximizing storage in vans is like the most important thing you can do to make it comfortable and functional. So what we've added on top of this kitchen area is an overhead storage shelf just for jars, plants, if you want to decorate and whatnot. It just gives you a bit more freedom to put some storage up there, and it's a nice little feature as well. And this is built out of black butt. So all of our cabinetry faces, all of that is a black butt plywood. So it's a birch ply core with a black butt film face on top of it, so it gives it a nice little feature in this van. All right, continuing on our overhead storage just from this shelf here in the kitchen, we have our 4 overhead cupboards. They all have the black butt face, same as all our kitchen area as well, so just continuing that on. We have built these 4 open up sections without dividers in the middle, so that means you can actually store anything to the length of the overhead cupboards in there. It just gives you a bit more freedom if you want to put like jumpers, blankets up there, because when you put dividers, we found that you're pretty much just limited to how big that space is, and you kind of can't fit certain things up there, because trying to fit everything in a van can get tough when you get down to it. So it just gives you a bit more freedom there, and you've got plenty of storage, and they just open up easy enough like that as well. And they just lock as well with those little latches.
So in the back part of the van, we have got our couch. It's currently set up as a couch area, so it's like a big U-shaped couch, but it does convert to a bed as well. So we will show you how it converts to a bed, but currently as the couch area, it's got seat cushions, which are foam inserts, which are meant for like to double as a seat and as a mattress. So they've actually got like a memory foam layer on top of the foam, so they're super comfy. The covers are made from Warwick fabrics. The fabric is Eastwood, and I think the colour is fawn. And then in the middle here we have got our table, which swings around like that, and then it's a telescopic leg, so it lowers down when it turns into a bed. So that's pretty much our couch area. We've got a bit of storage underneath, which opens out the back, and a little bit of storage inside, which we will show soon. Next to the couch bed area here, we've got a lift up box, which just lifts up like this, and this is where we keep all of the bedding. So it's a thin lift up box, but it fits 2 pillows, a doona, sheets, so it's like decent storage. And we thought that it worked well because when the bed's set up and all the cushions are like ready to go as a mattress, you can still access the bedding like next to the bed. It's not sort of underneath where you need to get out the bedding first and that sort of thing. So for our window coverings in this van, we went with some blinds this time. So they have got rod pocket in the top, like a timber rod down the bottom, and they're just manual roll up like this. So something a bit different to curtains, but yeah, so roll up like that. And then they've just got these little ties which have press studs that press them together and holds them up. They didn't work for all of the windows, so like the back window and the sliding door. The back window and the sliding door we have window covers for, so they just have magnets around the edges, and they also suction cup onto the windows, and they block out the sunlight from those windows. So as I mentioned earlier, this is currently set up as like a couch lounge area, but it does turn into quite a large double bed.
So we'll turn it into a bed now for you.
So that's the bed all set up. Super easy to set up, super easy to pack up. Could even just leave it set up as a bed for a few days if you didn't want to use it as a lounge. But it's huge. I reckon it's a bit bigger than a double, which is awesome.
As Sarah mentioned before, we do have actual storage bits underneath these couch cushions in some spots. One of the things we decided to store under the couch is our 55-litre water tank. Because you don't really need to access this water at all because we have an external water filling point, it is just mounted under the couch here and you don't need to access it all the time. So to get to it, you have to lift up these cushions here and chuck them on the other side. And then it's just a lift up point here. So you just lift that up, you got your 55-litre water tank stored in there, all your plumbing connections, but you should never need to access that other than maintenance. And then on the other side of this point here, this is just your water tank gauge. So because that gauge is there and you have the water filling point on the outside of the van, you never need to access this. All right, so stored on the other side of the couch here, just under this cushion, we do have our electrical system. But before I move the cushions and make a little bit of a mess, I'll just explain what our go-to setup is for a van of this size. In terms of charging, we have a 170 watt panel mounted to the roof, and we also have a 30 amp DC charger just to charge the main battery while you're driving. Our battery size that we've gone with is 100 amp hour, and it is a lithium battery as well. Lithium is just non-negotiable for us. It's more efficient, it's smaller as well. So for a van build, it's by far like the perfect battery to go with. It's a little bit more expensive, but I think like the benefit outweighs the expense, definitely. We have a 1000 watt pure sine inverter as well, just for your 240 appliances. And then all of our fusing, everything in there for all of our 12 volt lights, the fan, the fridge and everything is just mounted into this box as well. We also do use a battery monitor just on the side of this box, just because it makes it a bit easier and eliminates the guessing game of what your battery percentage is and your power usage is as well. So I think I'll show you this setup now. I'll pull all the cushions and make a little bit of a mess. So this just lifts up like this, and that gives you more than enough access to your electrical system there. We have our 1000 watt inverter, our DC charger with MPPT. We have our 12 volt fusing there, as well as all our inline fuses and our battery monitor shunt. And then in this corner here, we just have our 100 amp hour lithium battery. Just mounted on the side of the electrical box here, we do have our 2 switches for our lights and the strip light. We then have 12 volt USB charging point. And then next to that there, we have our battery monitor. So that just tells us the power usage, our battery percentage, and all the important details for the battery. So another 12 volt thing that we have, for those hot nights, we do have a fan. So this fan has 3 different speeds on it, and it's also got a timer where you can set it to go off for 3, 6, 9, 12 hour increments. So you can turn it on, and if you forget to turn it off, it will turn off itself. And you can obviously adjust that to, watch the fingers. You can swing that around any way you want. So you're not really limited to which way it's going to point. Just around to the back of the bed here, we do have 3 separate storage compartments added onto the van. They've just got the same black butt face as all the cabinetry and continuing throughout the van. Down here we have a little accessory plug for the water shower, and also if you wanted to use like a pump or anything like that. But this one here is for our long items. So that is just a cupboard door, and that is just a beach umbrella stored in there, but that's a good spot for like camp chairs, fishing rods, tables, anything that's quite long, because that goes all the way through the electrical box. So it's a good little storage compartment. And then this one here is where we store our shower. So that is just a little cupboard door. We've got our 20-litre shower that we'll show you a bit later on. And in this one here is a drawer. So on the same locking tabs as before. And that is just for other camping items you can just put in there. So plenty of storage around the back. So for the shower system, we have this 20-litre jerry can that is a shower system from OnTap. To actually power it, it plugs into this 12 volt accessory plug. To fill it up, you just use this filling point here. There's a little power point there, and then you got your breather. At the moment, there's currently cold water in it, but if you did want to have a hot shower, you could just boil the kettle and pour some water in there, or you could just sit it out in the sun for the day, and it will definitely heat up in that. In terms of using it, it has this little switch here, once you've got it plugged in, to turn it on. So the pump is now working, and we just got a little rinse off like that. But if we actually want to use it as a shower, we do have this little hook up here,
just hook it onto that, and then turn it on, and then you have a shower. We'll finish off the tour with the exterior of the van. So starting with the windows, we do have a sliding window on this door here, and we also have 2 sliding windows on the other side, which I'll show you there for extra ventilation. Roof racks, we have 3 heavy duty roof racks in a bar system. And then for the roof, for the awning on the roof racks, we have a 2.5 by 2 meter dune awning. Up here on the roof, we have our fixed solar panel. So that's the 170 watt solar panel. And I'll just show you around, but we'll go on the other side. All right, round on the driver's side of the van, we have these 2 sliding windows, one into the kitchen, one into the bed area, just for the hot nights. Down here, we have the external water filling point. And then this vent here just goes to the back of the fridge. So we've got lots of fridge ventilation there as well. And I think that's, in terms of the exterior, that's everything.
That brings us to the end of our van tour. I think we've covered everything that is in the van. Thank you very much for watching and sticking around until the end.
Yeah, I hope you love the layout as much as we do. We're very, very happy with how this one came out. If you do want to actually see how we do the build, there is a 2-part episode series on our YouTube channel. Just goes into the build, covers all the materials that we kind of use, and you can see how we turn this into this beautiful home. Yeah, so like and subscribe as well if you want to see more stuff like this and you actually really enjoyed the video.
Yeah, and we will see you in our next video.